So I got this article here for you from Apple, or from Variety. Apple is making a huge mistake postponing the Savant in wake of Charlie Kirk killing. Now, I don't know if you heard about this show, The Savant, starring Jessica Chastain, which, from what I have seen of it, is just a total woke nightmare. Let's see what the show is about. I think I'm going to show the trailer here, and we'll look at this article.
What's she looking at? She's working.
She's working? I thought this was a no-work weekend, Mom.
We don't need to go any farther to tell this is woke. We have the mixed race relationship with the white woman, and then, of course, the non-white male. This is Freefolk's Law. This is a way of eliminating white people. And we know that the woke are against white. It's one of the things that they are vehemently against, because white people are colonizers. They're thieves. We stole our technology, etc.
It's gonna be a coordinated mass attack.
Blood will be shed.
Locked and loaded, been planted for months.
The hunt has begun.
Has anybody ever typed yes out like that? I mean, I know this is for dramatic effect. Click on each individual letter. I mean, I type yes, it takes me a fraction of a second because I have two hands. I know how to type. Okay, so here we go. We have our first tidbit of information. Let's see what it says here. Between 1994 and 2020, 893 extremist attacks took place in America. Today, unseen heroes protect us from countless more. Oh, okay.
What do you do in there all day? All night sometimes.
I track people who are planning attacks. My job is pretending to think like them to stop those people from doing really bad things.
FBI, on your knees!
That's why we call her the Savant. Snipers, bombings, ambushes. We're on the verge of serious violence. I've been watching him for a year and a half. He's recruiting for something. I don't know what it is, but it's massive.
This guy isn't just planning violence. He's out to make a statement.
What kind of a statement?
The kind that history refers to with a month and a date. Innocent Americans are going to die.
We need to infiltrate further.
I don't think you should keep pushing this.
Listen to me. They have photos of your family.
You think if you engage with terrible things, you're daring even worse things to happen.
All right, I was like super cringe. Man. Typing out the Savant one letter at a time really slowly. Wow. All right, so we found the woman. She's an ex-soldier, it looks like. She's a hero. All right, we got a woman doing this stuff. This show would probably go over better if it was a man, and I'm not saying that to be sexist. I'm just stating the fact. We know that men are the ones who generally do these sorts of things, that go into the military, that are online hunting down people and causing problems. There's a guy I watch sometimes on YouTube who he looks for scammers on YouTube. He finds scammers. He'll listen in on a live call that a scammer is undertaking where they're stealing tens of thousands of dollars from somebody, and he'll actually be able to somehow interrupt the transaction from happening. It's men who do these things much, much more so than women do. Men who are driven to do these things much, much more so than women are. She's spending all night working on this. This is her passion. She has 2 children to take care of. So we could just say that it's woke from that point of view. But in addition to that, of course, we have the racism going on in the show. Let's see what else this article has to say here. In a shocking decision, Apple TV has postponed the premiere of the Jessica Chastain drama series, The Savant, offering another chilling example of how business giants are running scared of the Trump administration and bowing to pressure before it even exists. The series had been scheduled to premiere September 26th. Well, that was like a week ago. I'm glad that it didn't premiere. I hope that it goes away forever. Now, they say here they're running scared of the Trump administration. Is this a referral to the Jimmy Kimmel thing, which the media said was Trump canceling Jimmy Kimmel? Like, Trump didn't cancel him. ABC made those decisions. Bob Iger, Disney is the parent company. If you didn't know that, Disney owns a lot of stuff. So they're a woke corporation. Stay away from anything Disney, is what I say. All right, well, back to the article here. After careful consideration, we have made the decision to postpone the Savant. An Apple TV spokesperson said in a statement to Variety, "We appreciate your understanding and look forward to releasing the series at a future date." I wonder when that future date is going to be. I wonder how long they're going to push this. I have a feeling it might be years. Usually when they do these postponements, it's a few months. But I'm thinking this time it might be years for some reason. I think it's just because of the political climate. They might wait for Trump to be out of office. I don't know. Before we go on, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. YouTube does unsubscribe people, so double check that you're still subscribed to my channel. You can find me over on Rumble and Twitter. I do really appreciate you guys stopping by and supporting my channel. I got a lot of interesting things to say. Share it with your friends, Tell everybody you know that's on this side of history, the right side of history in this case, what I do. Based on Cosmopolitan's 2019 article, is it possible to stop a mass shooting before it happens? The Savant follows Jody Goodwin Chastain, a top secret investigator and a veteran. I bet she was trained to be something that women don't generally go into, some sort of hardcore combat unit specialist, who, as an employee of the fictional Anti-Hate Alliance, infiltrates online hate groups in an effort to stop large-scale attacks of domestic terrorism. The series, adapted by Melissa James Gibson, is based on a real woman profiled in the Cosmo story, but carefully conceals her identity. On the show, Jodie lives in a Cincinnati suburb, and her husband, Charlie, who is black, oh, we have to put that in there, is deployed overseas. They have to put in the race of her husband. Of course, they have to capitalize black as well. Wow, I feel like I have a freaking case of a venereal disease or something. I don't know why, but I've never had one. I just feel dirty for reading this, I guess. So there's a woman who was doing this online. I'm sure that she was a veteran too, wasn't she? Oh yeah, I bet she was like in the Air Force and did something like, with communications or something that was not combat oriented. Doubt she was a veteran at all, actually. What are these hate groups that they're talking about? Those almost 900 terrorist incidents between 1994 and 2020. It didn't say who was committing those terrorist acts. We know who they mean. They think it's all the conservatives, all the right, all the traditional people who uphold traditional values. But they don't count. They actually count 100% zero of the hate incidents, of the terror incidents that left-wing people commit. They don't count any of them. And if you don't believe me, there are plenty of channels out there who cover that and actually go onto the internet live and show you that not only does the internet in general, just the Google search doesn't show these things, but the AI that strafes the entire internet to find the stuff doesn't show them either. Having watched the 8-episode series for review, which was set to be under embargo until September 25th, it's clear that The Savant is precisely the type of show America needs right now. Oh, I'm sure it is. It looks at a sector of mostly white male individuals who believe that America belongs to them, fueled by hate, bigotry, xenophobia, and misogyny. They talk cruelly and candidly online about enacting harm and violence towards individuals or others who they feel are unworthy of being in their country. Nowhere in the show does it mention Donald Trump's name, and other than depicting white nationalists in a negative light, The Savant is a straightforward, non-controversial character study and a well-paced thriller about one woman trying to stop domestic terrorism. Yeah. Well, they might have pulled this then because all of the terrorism, people are waking up. All the terrorism we see, like I just said, is from the left. People are waking up to this. People are realizing that they don't count. The Michael Randall shooting, a guy shot Michael Randall because he was a Trump supporter. That's political. That's terrorism. Charlie Kirk was shot because his conservative point of view. That's political. That's terrorism. They've told us repeatedly since Charlie Kirk's shooting that we need to shut up. The people who speak out against the woke need to shut up, or the same thing is going to happen to you. So maybe they're pulling it in response to the Charlie Kirk incident. I don't know. It seems absolutely maddening that Apple TV would pull such a move, especially following the disaster that ABC and its parent company Disney faced after yanking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air on September 17th. Following his frank but fair comments after the death of Charlie Kirk, like Disney and ABC, it seems that Apple TV Plus is cowering to a presidential administration that appears to be more concerned with its own dialogue and viewpoints. As the Savant suggests, if we continue to exist in vacuums, unwilling to hear and listen to others while using logic and sound facts, that we are part of the problem. What presidential administration does not appear to be more concerned with its own dialogue and viewpoints? Tell me which one, because Biden's was all about that. Their own dialogue and viewpoints, and all sorts of lies that they spread. I'm using logic and sound facts to tell you that they're trying to get rid of white people. That they are saying white people are evil. They're saying men are evil. They're saying straight people are evil. We've heard them say this. They're saying thin people are evil. They're saying Christians are evil. They're saying that we don't need the police. The police are an evil organization that's just trying to subjugate the non-whites in the country. Meanwhile, we got a young woman stabbed to death on a train, and another young woman who was shot in the head recently. Did you see that? That's just freaking horrifying. I mean, I think that was actually before the train stabbing. Both of them white. Both of them blonde white girls. And they were both killed by who? Oh, non-white people. I don't know what to tell you, but it seems like there's an attempt to get rid of the white race. I don't... That's why I started this channel. If me, in my limited access, was seeing this, do you think that maybe it's happening? I don't know. I'm just tossing that out there. This paragraph was just so horrifying. Everything in there was like, wow, you guys are definitely woke. The Savant succeeds because it holds a mirror up to present-day American society, reflecting back to us who and where we are currently. The medium of television is so beautiful because through its storytelling capabilities, it's able to reach people across all walks of life and connect with varied perspectives, allowing us to continue hearing one another. Even if we struggle to find common ground, snatching relevant TV shows off of networks and streamers out of fear and cowardice is the antithesis of what companies should be doing during this terrifying period when American life and even the Constitution are under attack. Okay. Relevant TV shows. How is it relevant? Explain that to me. Is it relevant because you believe that there is a underground internet society of traditionally valued individuals who hate women and hate minorities and wanted to get rid of all the immigrants? Is that what you think it is? Because a lot of this comes out of this ICE activity we're seeing where people are going, oh, it's a genocide. These are like Nazis. It's like the Gestapo. Please stop speaking hyperbolically. ICE is acting legally against criminals. That is the honest truth. I don't know what to tell you. I don't care if you don't like the fact that they are arresting young women and then deporting them. They're here illegally. They're not harming them. If they were doing something illegal, by all means, yes, go after ICE for that. All right, but is woke dead? Is this the end of woke? No, this is just one example of how woke is failing. It's still around. It's still a big deal. Apple TV has another show, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Have you seen this? Have you heard this? I don't think it's nearly as popular. Gonna stop that right there. As the Savant show. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think it's that popular. Just because Apple TV doesn't do a good job of advertising their stuff. It's got a 7-star rating. I'd give it a higher rating than that for overall. If you ignore the woke stuff. Let's put it that way. Let's take a look at the trailer here and you can get an idea what it's about. If you haven't seen it, I think you're going to want to see it.
The world is on fire.
Monarch was there in San Francisco.
She's gay, by the way.
When the whole city was coming down, these guys were taking pictures, like they'd been waiting for it.
You think that your father was working for them?
This stuff was in a safe.
Who are they?
I think she's bi, plus she's ugly, so, what can you do?
What's Monarch?
There's a new one coming.
This is the world we live in. Monsters are an inescapable reality.
And it's just
Those files belong to us, and they are more important than you could possibly imagine.
There's a new one coming.
This is gonna give me nightmares.
This one's coming to an end.
Now, you can choke down that monarch lie
This one's coming to an end.
about your father disappearing. Or we can find out what really happened before it's too late.
All right. That's enough. We don't need to see the rest. You can watch it on IMDb. Another problem with this, they have to have the Japanese in there. They kind of force the Japanese in, and they might think, well, it's Godzilla. It's Japan. Come on now. Bikini Atoll, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. This one right here, Keiko, I believe her name is. Main character. The other Japanese girl we saw also main character, and then Kurt Russell's character is a main character. They actually had a white guy in there. He's right here, by the way, because they travel significantly through time. So this particular part of the show takes place in 1957. They introduced this female character here in 1951. And they say, wow, you speak really good English. And she said, yeah, it came in handy when I was getting my PhD at Berkeley. She was born and raised in Japan. Japanese women, Japanese men did not come to the United States. Japanese women did as brides. But other than that, Japanese were not allowed to come to the United States in the 1940s. Why? What's going on in the 1940s? Was there like something? They didn't come in the 1950s or the 1960s either. Wow, imagine that. Yeah, there's a thing called World War II where the Japanese were seen as our mortal enemies, and we did not allow them to come into the country as exchange students or international students. So, the woman who plays her is 37 years old. She looks like she's 31. Well, they introduced her in 1951. She could reasonably be 31. So she got a PhD in the 1940s. All right, she didn't do that at Berkeley in the 1950s and 1960s. Like, no, that just didn't happen. But they got to shoehorn this Japanese thing in there. They got to shoehorn the minorities. We got to have the minorities. Why are you doing that? Oh, I know, because you want to be woke. They have another doctoress in this show, played by this Jess Salguero person here. And she's stationed in the middle of nowhere at a monitoring station, living in the middle of nowhere in the desert. Possible, yes, but young women don't want that lifestyle. She's living alone in a trailer in the desert. That's not something that young women want. They want to be around men because they want to do stuff with men. They want to be around their friends. And they don't generally get PhDs, especially not in monster observing. It's just more promotion of the female. Woke is not dead. It's still here. It's still trying to ruin everything. And I have more proof of this. Let's take a look at Star Trek. You guys watch Star Trek? I'm sure most of you have, if not all of you, watch Star Trek. Have you seen this Star Trek Strange New Worlds? Follows the adventures of Christopher Pike. You look at the poster here. Can we zoom that in? I need to see anything else. We can just look at this. In fact, this is actually being deceptive. We got twice as many women in lead roles as we do men. If we want to make a show that appeals to women, women are into and enjoy, and that they would be a fan of, great, do it. Star Trek is not that show. Star Trek has notoriously not appealed to young women. This was a big contention back in the 60s when the original series came out. They introduced Chekhov specifically to kind of entice female viewers to watch the show. So we can take a look back through Star Wars and see that it is not, people might be arguing, oh, it's a woke show, it's always had like diversity and blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's take a look. The original series, female lead characters. There might have been one Uhura. Yeah, she was also black. But that diversity wasn't there. We had the diversity of, different white people. We had Chekhov, we had Scotty, and, we had Captain Kirk from Iowa. And then they added in Sulu, the Asian guy. So that's it. We had an Asian guy and we had a black woman. That's it. You can watch the show. There's very few people who are minorities on that show otherwise. Go to the Next Generation. You might think, oh, there was women in the Next Generation. They had two that could have been considered lead characters. Deanna Troi and Beverly Crusher. They had the security officer. She was only in the first two seasons. She died early on in the second season because she wanted more money. They were saying, well, they had a much more diverse cast. They had black characters and they had, yeah, okay. Because they wanted to show that in the future, it's just going to be like people just don't even consider race. It wasn't a statement about, oh, we got to erase white people. It's like, oh, look, we're still going to have distinct races, which we won't. We probably won't in the future. We have one race, and we're going to look like Chinese people. But they were trying to show that racial diversity because they figured that was what the future is going to be. Another thing, if you go back to the original, the very first showing of Star Trek, you might say, oh, well, they tried to be woke. Look, they had a woman in command position. Because right here, we got this Una Chin Riley is a second in command. They had Gene Roddenberry's wife is second in command. She was wearing pants in the original show. And the exec came back and said, we can't have women in command positions and we can't have women wearing anything other than a dress or a skirt. Okay? That's just how it has to be. Because they knew that there could be a push for the devaluing of what made America great. And now we're seeing that happen in spades today. We look at all the other Star Trek. We got Deep Space Nine. There was 2 women in that. Dax, I think, was the name of one. The other was the Betazid character. Voyager. Well, we had a woman in command there. So we say, oh, look, that's what we also had. The security officer, right? The Klingon girl, and I think she was security. And we had 7 of 9 came in later on. She could be a lead character, but there were so many other men on that, and I would say probably Voyager was maybe a little bit woke. Then we get into Enterprise, where that took a step back, where you only get really one woman kind of in a lead role, and that's T'Pol, Jolene Blaylock. You could say, what was her name? Hoshi, the comms officer, was in a lead position, but she really took backseat to T'Pol when it came to interacting in the show. And then we moved on to, what was next? Picard, was that next? I can't even remember Picard. I saw every episode. I cannot remember that show to save for my life. I think there was a girl who was the main character who ran around with Picard and was doing things, and they ended up on a planet inhabited by only women, human women, I think. It wasn't like a full, like, developed planet. It was just like they had a colony, and it was all women, I think. So you maybe could say that's what, maybe, but, I mean, yeah, I don't remember that show well enough to say. Was there Below Decks? Is that one of them? I've never seen Below Decks. I don't know what that's about. Maybe you can tell me. Then there is it Star Trek Discovery? Well, I don't know if that one's woke. I haven't seen it. My understanding is the main character is a black woman who has a boy's name. So they're covering their bases there. They got a trans male minority character in the lead role. I heard it's super woke. I don't know. But this one here, Strange New Worlds, I can't watch it anymore. I've seen the first 3 seasons. That's all that's been put out. And I'm not going to watch it anymore because it's too woke. It's become entirely too woke. You have a bunch of ugly girls. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 are attractive. And they are the main characters of the show now. The captain, Spock, and the doctor there, they all take backseat to these women and what they're doing. Almost always. There's another woman who's in a lead character role too, and she's the engineer, who's like some ugly old woman who's just, it's like, yeah, we got to have that diversity in there. Old people, old women are just as capable as young women. Don't worry. Okay. So woke is not going anywhere. They're just trying to wrap it up a little bit differently, maybe trying to kind of distract us into the wokeness. We got these shows that would be like a thriller. A lot of guys would love that. You got Star Trek. That is definitely a man show, right? Men love that. Geek out on that stuff. I've never been to a Star Trek convention, but I imagine it's 90+% men. I don't know. You tell me if you've been to one. Let me know down in the comments. But yeah, woke has not gone anywhere, unfortunately. I wish. It seems like we're making some headway, getting rid of it, but it's still here, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Honestly, I think it's always going to be a problem because we're always going to have feminism. Feminism is the original woke movement. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.